This week, students in Pine Richland are taking matters into their own hands amid the ongoing controversy there over books.
School board meetings continue to be tense as the district debates a revised library policy that would determine if a book is allowed in school libraries or not.
And in addition to that, a group of students, they are taking action in response to another recent move by the school board. At the center of it all is the book Angel of Greenwood.
Opening up boxes of books freshly shipped to Pittsburgh are these for Pine Richland High School students.
This is Angel of Greenwood, and it's about the Tulsa Race Massacre, where a bunch of kind of white supremacists and KKK terrorized a black community and killed and burned down the community.
100 free copies in hand of Angel of Greenwood, a historical fiction set in 1921, centered around one of the worst acts of racial violence in American history.
We have 100
books.
paperback books from anything.
We have a lot, yeah.
These copies were sent by the book's author, Randy Pink.
So I reached out to Randy, and I thought it would be great to get these books and distribute them because we want to be able to make a message without being disrespectful. That's one of our biggest goals, and I think this is almost the perfect example of that.
This move comes after a heated 5-hour meeting on January 13th, where the Pine Richland School Board voted against incorporating Angel of Greenwood into its 9th grade curriculum.
I'm having trouble understanding the reasoning behind not letting this book in. I'm currently reading it right now. I think it is a great book. It talks about something that many students don't know anything about. Many people don't know anything about the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Elise Duckworth, a junior at Pine Richland High School, has been very involved in this conversation, speaking at several board meetings.
I grew up loving books, and the books that I read most of were historical fiction books because I loved hearing all these stories and diverse opinions that I never got to experience growing up where I did. And so kind of learning about wars and learning about like the Tulsa Race Massacre, it was important, and it helped me grow empathy and compassion for others. And so I feel like having these books and having diverse perspectives, especially in a place like this, like where we live, where we don't get those, like it's important.
School Board President Philip Morissette says while he believes Angel of Greenwood is a, quote, fine book for students with good historical significance, it was ultimately voted down because the majority of the board agreed it was not at a high enough literary level for a 9th grade curriculum. He thinks it's better suited for middle school. The author disagrees.
I believe that Angel of Greenwood would serve high school students. It would serve middle school students who are prepared for that. It would serve adults.
In an email to Pittsburgh's Action News 4, Morissette wrote, Angel of Greenwood was not previously part of 9th grade English language arts. This was a suggested by the administration new core text to be added while removing an existing 9th grade ELA core text of Tale of Two Cities.
I do not agree with that philosophy, but I respect that that's their position, and the community is reading it anyway, which is very encouraging.
From her city of Birmingham, Alabama, author Randy Pink heard the students' passion and frustration over the board's decision.
First of all, shock. I was like, ooh, that's interesting that it would be that heated, you know? And then immediately I started to see the incredible young people in that community who were so brave and so inspiring to step up in the heated debate.
That's why Pink accepted their invitation to travel to Allegheny County to speak about her book and hold a question and answer session on Saturday.
But when there is a debate like this, and there are opposing views of especially young people saying, I want this book on my curriculum, that's where I feel like I need to step in and say, hey, I want to give my 2 cents too, in a respectful, lovely, loving way.
Pink hopes her talk will reinforce the importance of reading books like Angel of Greenwood.
A book stands alone for me as the all-consuming way to empathize and learn about another person's life, another person's culture. So the fact that they know at such a young age the power of books, and they're willing and strong enough to stand up for that, that's rare.
And to encourage students to continue standing up for what they believe in.
So I just want to shake the hand, hug the neck, say, wow, you are inspiring to me. The community has been so impressive, and I just want to tell them that face to face.
And Randy Pank will get to do that tomorrow, all thanks to fundraising efforts by the community to get her here. She's holding a community conversation at Northern Tier Regional Library. She'll speak with students at 1:30 and then a session for adults or anyone else interested at 4:30. Registration for this is required. Now, while the decision has been made that Angel of Greenwood will not be in the curriculum for 9th graders at Pine Richland High School, the board president tells me the book is available at the high school library and is not, nor will it ever be considered to be removed, regardless of the outcome of the revised library policy that's been proposed that I told you about earlier. Now, that does continue to be heavily debated. The policy will be brought up again at the board meeting this coming Monday. We'll keep following this closely and bring you updates.